Dun 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 dun. 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 After a long time, we finally are gonna get to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. Although the sad thing is, I still gotta wait more months to see this movie. Thanks a lot, China. It's no wonder no one likes China anymore, is that they had to. But, yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I am excited for this film. Overall, I've been excited ever since I saw the first trailer. I think the trailer looks good, and it looks like a return to form for the series. I myself am a fan of the first two movies, even though two was kind of a repeat of the first one, which I think that was because when they made two, they really like after they made one, there was really no outline for the second film. There was really no plans to make a sequel, and if I look up, let's see, Ghostbusters. Right now, I gotta type 1984 for this whole thing to understand itself. So weird, so insane. Why do you do this to me, internet? Why'd you do this, Sony? But yeah, Ghostbusters. Let's see how much it was made on. So made on a budget of between 29 to 30 million, made nearly 300 million, 295.2 million. So it was like a sleeper. It was like an unexpected hit for everyone because I remembered hearing about the film originally. Yeah. Um. Hold on. Let me go up. Ghostbusters was inspired by Dan Aykroyd's fascination with and belief in the paranormal. A history of ghosts. Yeah. Aykroyd wrote the script, intending to star in it alongside Eddie Murphy and his close friend and fellow SNL alumnus John Belushi before Belushi's accidental death in March 1982. I've actually heard that Slimer is based off of John Belushi. You know, of the fact that Belushi was actually a real life party animal. It's sad what happened to him. Eh, on him. We loved each other as brothers. He turned to another SNL former castmate, Bill Murray, who agreed to join the project, albeit with an explicit agreement, which is how he often worked. Aykroyd pitched his concept to Bernie Brillstein. Three men. I think I remember hearing about it being very futuristic. It was originally set in the future, but they did not have that much money in the budget. Yeah, Richard Edlund was the film's the effects supervisor. Yeah, Richard Edlund, ASC. John Candy was offered the role of Lewis Tully. Uh, yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting. Here's what's interesting. The film's a cinematographer. Right here. Laszlo Kovacs. See. Laszlo Kovacs. Was a Hungarian cinematographer working for Peter Bogdanovich, Richard Rush, Dennis Hopper, Norman Jewison, and Martin Scorsese. So yeah, look at all the films that like a legendary cinematographer shot here. Let's see. Um, so yeah, Say Anything, Radio Flyer, Free Willy 2, Multiplicity, which was Harold Ramis, and 2 weeks notice. That's interesting. Oh, and My Best Friend's Wedding as well. Yeah, he shot a lot of comedy films as well. Uh, yeah, technology and equipment, sets and logo. Yeah, the Ectomobile, the Ecto One, as it's often referred to. In the original movie, yeah. I remember that. So yeah, and as far as people are thinking about I'm gonna click it on Ghostbusters 2. Um, yeah, cause I hear that Ghostbusters 2 was actually a nightmare to shoot. Yeah, It was made in between 30 to 40 million, and only yeah, because they did not really have a precedent for the film development. After the phenomenal success of Ghostbusters, a sequel was considered inevitable, even though the film had been developed as a standalone project. The development of its conflict were given as much coverage in the press of the film. Then Columbia executive David Putnam was blamed for Ghostbusters 2 lengthy production, though Ivan Reitman said it was more the fault of the reluctant cast and crew. And yeah. Huh. Yeah, writing. I'm now looking at the top of the page. Production was rushed compared to the original film's 13-month cycle. Large sections of the film were scrapped after poorly received test screenings. New scenes were written and filmed during reshoots between March and also Industrial Light and Magic did the visual effects for this, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, filming. Following test screenings, the principal film, Reitman said that upon watching the test version, he realized the final just died a horrible death. So he spent 4 days of filming a new 25-minute ending. Place it. Uh, yeah, which they were working desperately to compete, and if I'm not mistaken, yeah, filming began almost immediately. Reitman began working almost immediately after directing the movie Twins. Filming began, yeah, and the film came out in July of 1989. Yeah, no, actually June 16th, 1989. So they had a short window to do Ghostbusters 2, and actually now, even though I love it, I can now probably see now why everyone did not like doing the movie. Probably working on the movie. Oh, Dennis Muren was the special effects supervisor. Um, mm, yeah. As with his work on Ghostbusters, Reitman had little interest in the technical side of the film. For the sequel, he employed special effects studio Industrial Light and Magic, giving them a rough outline of the plot and the freedom to do as they wanted. Columbia had previously helped Richard Edlund found. Yeah, but Reitman was apparently. I think Reitman did not like working with Richard Edlund, and I think Ivan Reitman has kind of a difficult to work with thing. And in fact, I remember this is one of the movies that ILM could not do Star Trek. Was one of the reason ILM could not do Star Trek 5, which probably a good idea, but yeah. Reitman, Edlund's former ILM co-worker Dennis Muren served as the visual effects supervisor despite the film's intentionally rushed schedule. Muren wanted to work on the film because it would let him design new creatures. Muren admitted that his designs would not be as original as Ghostbusters, and instead wanted to make 110 shots, but grew to 180. Um, oh, yeah, this Back to the Future Part 2, Last Crusade, The Abyss, they were working so heavily. So ILM had 9 teams working on this movie, which is interesting. So yeah, Vigo the Carpathian. Let's see the cast. For the longest time, I did not know that was Max von Sydow. Yeah, voiced by Max von Sydow, and for some stupid reason, Doug Walker, even though I love the guy, was like, "Why not have the original voice actor?" Well, for one thing, Max von Sydow is a more Max von Sydow, I think, has a more threatening voice, and also it's weird now that I know that Max von Sydow is Vigo. Um, it kind of adds into that cliche of Max von Sydow is unfortunately one of those actors who's in every movie. He dies in almost everything he's in, which is sad because now he's no longer with us. But yeah, and hmm. Yeah, negative. Yeah. Mm-hmm. On the audience's desire for darker films, apparently, Yeah, apparently, Reitman did not have the time of his life working on this, but hey, and as thematic analysis, yeah, fatherhood, politics, contemporary reception, um, yeah, but now it's gotten more positive reviews. It's actually been gotten more of a positive reception recently. Yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife. As far as the female remake is concerned, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was something I needed to get mad about, but the fact that, Sony was just making it just for the hell of it, it was like it's mostly Amy Pascal's fault for that movie even existing. So, and they mostly blame the cast. And the fact is that movie, the controversy surrounding that movie was more famous than the movie itself. Yeah. And I remember the third Ghostbusters movie ended up suffering a huge development hell. And look, I'm in 11 minutes. I haven't even reacted to a damn thing in this. But it's because Ghostbusters is so interesting. And Reitman began developing to the original films. And I remember hearing a certain reception is like, oh, this movie's not going to be good. It's like, I feel like people, they unfortunately just, yeah, I can't. This is why I don't agree with people. I try not to really belong to certain fandoms. But I hope that this movie is good. It's, in fact, I mean, literally, it's a passing of the baton from Ivan Reitman, who directed the first two films, to Jason Reitman, who's directing this movie. And I'm all the more excited for it, thankfully. So let's see what we have in store here. Passing the Proton pack. Instead of passing the torch, but hey, that's...
I'm Ivan Reitman, director of Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, better known as Dad.
And I'm his son, Jason Reitman, director of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
The Ghostbusters 84 set is the first set I can remember. As a kid, it was just simply magical.
He was there with his mom, my wife, and they, in fact, they actually used it in one moment in the film when
we got cut out of the original Ghostbusters. That's what he's getting at.
They got scared after the first take. Jason wouldn't do a second take.
Ghostbusters Afterlife is a movie about a family that's being made by a family. And it is much about the passing of torch, metaphorically, and the passing of a proton pack.
It was very emotional to see that story living again after so many years through my son.
I grew up as a fan. I had a flight suit, I had the t-shirt, I had the hat. Now at this age, I find myself trying to understand who my father is and who he was when he made this film. You know, I am now the age that my father was when he made the original Ghostbusters movie. And I'm trying to understand him in the same way that Phoebe and Callie are trying to understand where they came from. While making the movie, my father's presence was felt most like this, inches away, watching the monitor. Imagine yourself in your workplace and your parents are sitting right next to you, watching you take every phone call, watching you present any idea, chiming in often.
It was probably more fun for me than for Jason.
There was a moment when we were shooting with 3 cameras, a scene with 5 or 6 actors. And I found myself on set, sitting next to one of the cameras, watching one actor in particular who I wanted a performance from. And after the take was done, I ran back to monitor to review the other cameras. And my father looked at me and just said, "You got it." I went, okay. And I nodded and we moved on, which is not an experience that could have ever happened or probably will ever happen on any other movie.
Jason had a remarkable responsibility, having to deal with his father on the set and also the history and iconography of 35 years of audiences all over the world getting to know this movie.
Yeah.
He took it on, which I thought was a brave thing to do.
My father and I are extraordinarily close.
It was a joyful experience just to be there.
It was the great bonding experience of my life with the director that I admire most, my father.
Phone's probably mine.
Dad, I'm in the I'm trying to do the EP. Back to one, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Cold is still kicking my ass. Oh man. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, let's see. I think I'm thinking about it. Jason Reitman. Yeah, Ghostbusters 2 cameo. If I'm not mistaken, he had a cameo. Yeah, as the kid, the kid who's like pedestrian in the firehouse or not. I remembered he was the dorky kid. Uh I don't know who that kid was. Um yeah. Um Cast. Yeah, respectively. Yeah, the rude kid at the opening. The kid who's like, "You guys are so full of crap," kind of guy. Um, yeah, I remember that. That was him. So that's probably interesting. Um, damn. Uh, the art. Yeah, yeah, that was what I was saying. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I can still find the hatred behind this movie. It's like I don't know why people are doing it. I just don't get with the audience. Maybe that's my problem. That's probably a good thing that I don't side with people. Yeah. And like I mean, I kind of have faith in Jason Reitman. Like he's done so many good films like Thank You for Smoking, Juno, Up in the Air, Young Adult, Labor Day, Men, Women and Children, Totally the Front Runner. So, yeah, maybe I'm just kind of that trustworthy. Actually, huh. So yeah, um, mm, yeah. Hmm. The film's it's also ironic. This actually is being shot with let me look it up here. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, I hear that thing. Yes, I'm looking it up here. Sorry, the camera's too close to me. I apologize. I just can't. Yeah, I love that. Probably that was certain. I think that's the thing is that Ivan Reitman, I'm pretty sure, was very hands on, sort of like a consultant, and seeing if it works or not. And Gil Kenan is actually a co screenwriter on this. British American filmmaker and animator. Monster House, that was good. City of Ember, I haven't seen it. Poltergeist, horrible. Uh, an episode of Scream, and yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife. So yeah, um, Little Hours. I forget what this. Yeah, medieval black comedy film. I remember that one now. Yeah, co-writer with Jason Reitman. So yeah, um, and the film cinematographer Eric Spielberg. I'm looking at this. Damn, damn internet. Why you know work? Why you know work internet? Why you know work for me? Uh, yeah, Panavision. So it's being filmed in Panavision, kind of like the first two films were anamorphic movies, Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Because anamorphic comedy is very hard. If I remember correctly, I remembered on Instagram I found out that let's see, DN Edge, Crafty Apes, editorial department. Yeah, right here. Yeah, Stefan Sonnenfeld is the colorist on this movie, and yeah, it's weird. I know everything. I know too much in Hollywood nowadays. I gotta stay off the internet a lot. Yeah, I'm looking up some of his work here. Eric Spielberg. Uh, let's see. Juno. He worked on Juno, 500 Days of Summer, Up in the Air, Going the Distance. Yeah, young adult. Yeah, so he's usually his most current collaborator since Juno. Eric Steelberg since Juno. Yeah, so they've done Juno, Up in the Air, Young Adult, Labor Day, Men, Women, and Children, Tully, and The Front Runner, and now Ghostbusters Afterlife. And yeah, he also shot Draft Day, which that movie's great overall. I love Draft Day. I think it's a really good movie. So yeah. And what I was trying to say about Ivan Reitman is I think he's the producer, but he's very hands on. It's sort of similar to the whole Indiana Jones 5 thing. If I look up James Mangold, because I remember hearing about Spielberg dropping out of the director's chair for what was it? Out of the director's chair for Indy 5, but from what I understand, James Mangold is currently directing Indiana Jones 5 right now, and it's now filming. And but from what I know, Spielberg will be very hands-on in the movie, so he'll have complete hands serve as a producer instead as a hands-on producer. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. This was Ghostbusters Afterlife Featurette, passing the Proton Pack, and I could not be all the more happier that this is still like. I hope I finally get to see it. It comes out in October, so I'm sure I'm really excited for this. So yeah, my mom's calling me. I'm gonna end the video here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll leave a link to the original video down below and a link to my Instagram page. Yeah, I wish y'all got speed. Take care.